albino Burmese Python. I want you to get a good look at her facial pits. One of the most interesting things about this species, I think, are the facial pits right along her upper jaw line. You will see, if I can hold her still, these are so powerful. You can see those facial pits. She's an ambush predator. And these large reptiles, these large snakes, they're not going to hunt their prey. They're going to lay in wait. And a prey item comes by. It could be a chicken, very common in Southeast Asia. By the way, you'll steal those chickens right out of their cages. You leave the food to the people, darling. You've got enough in the forest to eat. But they'll eat domestic animals. You know, they'll go into a village, they'll eat a pig, a goat in the forest. If they're lucky enough to grab onto a deer, she'll be big and powerful enough to take on a deer, constrict it, swallow it whole. These big spiked teeth she has in her mouth, you know, if she's 15, 20 feet, those are formidable teeth. They're going to be quite large, and they'll in just a second or two, they'll penetrate the animal's hide, and she'll wrap these big, powerful coils around her prey item and squeeze and constrict the heart cavity, stopping the heart. Then the lungs stop functioning, and the animal is deceased, and then she swallows it. These can grow to over 20 feet. The record was 27 feet. And, you know, a Burmese python that long would surpass the 300-pound mark. In the wild, they of course don't look like this. They don't have the bright yellow markings, but they do have the same type of pattern. She will actually, almost like a king cobra. King cobra will dig a depression in the ground and lay eggs and guard her nest. The Burmese python will actually wrap her body around her pile of eggs and start twitching this massive body. And that's her way of incubating her eggs, keeping them warm enough. But she doesn't really guard the nest like a king cobra does, quite aggressively, I might add. These snakes are very powerful. They are dangerous in the wrong hands, and I want to cover that before I put her back, because this is not a pet. I use this snake for mobile programs, and isn't that rude? But they are prohibited species. It is illegal to have this in most counties, cities, and states without a prohibited species permit. And even with that permit, you aren't really allowed to take this snake over any state line because of what's happening in Florida. Yes, this is the species that is loose and living free in Florida. Totally invasive species there, and they're eating everything they come across. Alligators, you name it. Deer. She's going to eat a deer when she's big enough. She's about almost 14 feet. I don't know how much she weighs, but again, not a snake you want to buy as a pet. She'll hatch out of an egg and maybe be 18 inches long, 20 inches long, and in 2 years, as little as 2 years, she could be 8 feet. So this is a no-no in the pet trade. Do not purchase one. One last look at her. She is worth taking a second